This news story was written by Spencer Hsu, Josh Dawsey, Tom Jackman, and Amy Gardner. As rioters stormed Capitol with Pence inside, Trump allegedly said, "So what?" In a filing that argues Trump is not immune from prosecution, Jack Smith offered new details of the former president's alleged efforts to overturn the election. President Donald Trump appeared indifferent as rioters stormed the Capitol to try to prevent the transfer of power on January 6, 2021, telling an aide, "So what?" Even after learning security measures were being taken to protect his vice president, prosecutors alleged in an explosive new court filing Thursday. The much-anticipated 165-page filing from special counsel Jack Smith offers a searing portrayal of Trump just a month before the 2024 election. It describes in more extensive detail than before how many people, including Vice President Mike Pence, party and state leaders, his own campaign officials, his own campaign lawyers, and others, told Trump there was no proof the election was stolen, and how Trump nonetheless waged a campaign to overturn the result. Prosecutors reconstructed behind-the-scenes interactions, including one in which an aide rushed to the dining room to share with Trump, who had been watching the events on TV and tweeting, that action was being taken to ensure the safety of Pence, who was in the Capitol building. The defendant looked at him and said only, "So what?" the filing alleges. The evidence against Trump in the case had already become public, either through previous filings, news reports, or an extensive congressional investigation into the events of January 6th. The 36-page indictment in the case alleges he conspired to overturn the legitimate results of the 2020 election by using knowingly false claims about election fraud to obstruct the government's processes for collecting, counting, and certifying the vote. It was unclear what, if any, electoral impact the filing might have. In a post on Truth Social shortly after it was filed, Trump wrote, "Election interference." His attorneys asked late Tuesday for permission to file a 180-page response by November 21st. The filing was intended to show that Trump can still face trial for attempting to overturn Joe Biden after the Supreme Court ruled Trump was immune from prosecution for official acts. Prosecutors argued that his actions were not taken in his capacity as president, but rather to benefit his campaign. The filing's unsealing was ordered by a federal judge after legal fighting in recent days over what within it should become public. In a written statement that Trump reposted to Truth Social, an unconstitutional J6 brief immediately following Tim Walz's disastrous debate performance is another obvious attempt by the Harris Smith and Washington, D.C. radical Democrats are hell-bent on weaponizing the Justice Department in an attempt to cling to power. This entire case is a partisan, unconstitutional witch hunt that should be dismissed entirely, together with all of the remaining Democrat hoaxes. In making the case that Trump's acts were not done in his capacity, prosecutors argued that the speech Trump delivered at the Ellipse on January 6th was a campaign rally. They noted that it was funded and organized by private individuals, and that Trump promoted it as a rally on his campaign account. Prosecutors also said Trump entered and exited the event to songs such as YMCA by the Village People instead of the music typically played at a presidential speech, such as Hail to the Chief. Prosecutors said the conversations between Trump and Pence were, in their private capacities as presidential electors. The filing is Smith's most detailed explanation of how the conversations between Trump and his vice president the riskiest part of the superseding indictment was to include exhaustive account yet of Pence's tried to encourage Trump to back off his claims of a stolen election. It alleges that one of Trump's lawyers repeatedly told Trump they could not substantiate the document alleges. The document contradicted their view that the election was stolen, sometimes lashing out at those who disagreed. It notes Trump's public campaign to pressure governors and state officials, pointing to his posts on Twitter, now X. But it also highlights internal efforts to stifle dissent. According to the document, when Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani found out that Justin Reamer, then chief counsel of the Republican National Committee, had sent an email urging colleagues not to back claims of a stolen election, he left Reamer a threatening voicemail. "I really do need an